You're listening to the Claret and Big Blue podcast on the Pass the Gravy Podcast Network.
Who do you think you are? I am.
Goat's vagina. That thing is huge.
Don't give
You said that, not me.
Just come up, take it away by Wicks. Let's see it! Oh, it's glorious!
Play action over the middle. Touchdown, Giants.
Give me a hell yeah!
And we are live.
We'll do it live.
Welcome everyone to Claret and Big Blue, probably the only podcast on the internet dedicated to West Ham United and the New York Giants. That's right, football and football. Balls for everyone's taste. I am Mike Fish and I am joined as always by the man who's currently desperately looking for a new team to support. Now his Czech boys are out. It's Alex Middleton. Alex, how you doing?
Hey man, let's just hats off to the Czechs for a hell of a tournament. All right, they were the underdogs and they outdid everybody's predictions besides mine.
They did very well. And for those listening to the audio version, I did lift my hat slightly.
You did. Is that what's that called? A scally cap?
I always used to call it a granddad hat. I don't know what
Granddad
the official
hat.
name is, but my granddad used to wear one, so I just call it a granddad hat.
Yeah,
It looks.
it's
it
a
looks
cool.
like
It's a really British thing that you do, which is cool.
It's my Peaky
Like
Blinders.
Yeah, Peaky fucking blinders.
Fucky catcher, you fucky cunt. Did I say cunt a lot? I haven't watched that show for a while.
You haven't been saying it a lot,
No, I should say it more often. I'm just worried about who's listening or watching.
right? Sorry, mom.
No, I was going to get an email. Yeah, my 12-year-old son, who's a huge West Ham fan, was shocked by your language.
Finally, Mom, a show for me. And now you're throwing the hard C's around. Now what?
The youth of today. Although I'm not young anymore. I'm getting old. Anyway, happy 6th of July. What are you doing to celebrate the 6th of July?
I didn't do too much today. Went back to work. 4th of July was pretty sweet, though. It's my favorite holiday. Or you celebrate being American. I mean, I know it's a little different to you probably, but I would like to assume that you've embraced it yet.
Yeah, I'm less bitter about it. I kind of just go with the flow now. It's been
Like
what,
when you
200
lived over there, where you're like, those fucking guys.
Just every 4th of July for 24 hours, just shaking my fist at the sky.
I'm at work and I shouldn't be.
Bastards. Yeah, I should be celebrating that we're rid of those bastards. That's what we should
Right?
be
I
doing.
didn't like us at that point anyways.
I don't know. I'll have to read up on my history. I don't know how.
Not really a history podcast, but whatever.
But I'm assuming that it didn't go down well since there was a whole war
There was
type
a
thing.
war.
that's
I'm
normally-
I'm not a history teacher, but from what I recall, usually when it's a war, it's not a good thing.
Normally, someone's upset at some
They're
point.
enemies at that point, typically.
But did you go
Again,
to
not a history teacher.
Did you go to a big organized fireworks festival, or did you stay local? What did you get up to?
I was house sitting for my parents, but my girlfriend's sister came over and hung out for the weekend, and then my friend Tessa came out, and we just kind of grilled and chilled. I was gonna have some other guys come out, but they all ended up not being able to. So it ended up just being kind of like the three of us, just kind of, or four of us, just kind of hanging out. It was cool. We watched The Sandlot. Just kind of got really drunk, dude. That's what America does. I smoked a cigar, watched some
Ooh.
baseball, just American stuff.
Yeah, I just drank and laid in pools. Numerous pools.
Did you do any fireworks?
We did. We didn't. We could see the fireworks going off, and we just let off. Those I don't know how much they cost, but the thing that you just light it, and it's for 10 seconds. It goes shh, and you're like, oh,
okay.
That's underwhelming.
Like a
but
sparkler?
It was more of a spark. It was like the middle ground between a sparkler and a firework. So it's like a ground.
Oh yeah, dude, that's so
firework.
cool, man. Fireworks are cool, but also people blow up hands and stuff. The goalie for the Blue Jackets died. Like he
didn't he,
took
like,
a
get
mortar
hit in the
shell to
chest
the
or
chest.
something?
Yeah, so it's like there's some like Jason Pierre-Paul. This is a Giants podcast too. Like Jason Pierre-Paul didn't exactly have a great 4th of July one year. I mean, I get it. It's easy to get swept up in the freedom and whatnot, but at a certain point, you're like, hey, let's also be responsible.
Don't become free of your fingers or life. For that, it's a good tip.
That's what I always say.
First. But we are ever getting closer to the end of our journey through Europe. Halfway there, we've got one team in the final, and then we're basically finding out who's going to lose. Italy apparently are going to lose to England on Sunday, but let's not get ahead of ourselves.
It's coming home. It's coming home.
It's coming home. Well, it's
coming home.
They're playing in London, like, so it's already home. We should
True.
celebrate. Like the trophy is in England. So
But did you see the Italians sign that it's coming to Rome?
Oh,
That was pretty clever.
the song doesn't quite match though. It's coming to Rome. It's coming to
I
Rome.
gotta like.
It's like
I
too
gotta
much
tell you
syllables.
though, like I like England, you know, like let's go Declan Rice, but like Italy's kind of fun to root for because whenever they do anything, you can just post Sopranos memes and Sopranos gifs, and like that all plays. Or this, just the hey, gabagool.
Oh,
You
yeah,
can
I
pretty
mentioned
much
that.
just say anything Italian, and it's like nailed it. Astute observation of that goal.
I'm sure there was way more like New Jerseyans who were like quote unquote Italian who couldn't give a shit beginning of the Euros, and suddenly they're like the most Italian
Absolutely,
people ever.
yeah.
Right.
I just liked when they gave up the goal today. I just put in Polly Walnuts and they'd be like, "Oh, my own!" And it's like you could just, it's like I'm rewatching the series, but through a soccer game.
And that was a tidy goal by Mr. Murata. Who doesn't
Walnuts
tend to
Murata.
score goals. He doesn't like to score goals apparently, but every now and again he'll
did today.
bust one out.
I'll
But,
surprise you.
Okay. So let's take a step back. So obviously last week we previewed the Elite Eight of Europe, and I honestly, I can't remember and I haven't watched it back, so I'm going to assume that we crushed it with our predictions. I'm going to assume we got all 4 correct.
Obviously, flawless.
So
Unless anybody else tells us otherwise.
So obviously Spain advanced against Switzerland. I felt bad for Switzerland because that was, so let's say they were already 1-0 down, don't get me wrong, when the guy, I don't know, Ferris Fuller got sent off. But that was if I remember correctly, that was a very unnecessary red card. Because wasn't that the game that stupid Michael Oliver was the guy who's making England referees look bad? Like the Mike Dean.
Well, I
of the
mean,
European.
there's what's his face? Kavanaugh is still out there, isn't he?
Somewhere in the wild.
Yeah, no, I know he was reffing Euros games. I don't know if he still is, but I know he was at least in the group stage. But I was like, the sanctity with English refs isn't exactly what we think it is, because we've seen it ourselves.
That's the one thing before. Like, this tournament has definitely shown that. Oh wow, there are actually good referees out there. It's just none of them work in England.
They're not Premier League refs.
It's embarrassing because this tournament, I thought, slightly off the beaten path, but we're talking about referees now. I think this tournament has been very well officiated by the referees.
And play, dude, it's been well done on all sides, yeah.
And the only embarrassing referee calls have been by the English ones, if I remember.
Right? I mean, and VAR hasn't fucked anybody too bad. Even when it does, you're like, well, yeah, but that's the VAR. Like, it wasn't it could be controversial. I feel like every weekend in the EPL, we're like, how the fuck can they overturn that, or how can they not overturn that? How is that a handball? How is that It's every week we're talking about it, and I feel like the amount there've been a couple of instances here and there, but overall it's not been that much.
No, It's been very smooth, very good.
Which is like, that's what VAR is for. It's supposed to make it easier. It's not supposed to fuck it up even more. And somehow the Premier League has found a way to be like, hey, what if we saw what happened but made it worse? And they're like, well, that seems like that doesn't seem like it would go that way. And they're like, no, it will. Watch. And then, see, this is the example of that not doing it.
My conspiracy theory is that the referees in England didn't like the fact that VAR was there to like, we're being taken over by robots, and they purposely
like umpires
made
in baseball.
Right, they just purposely made it terrible, worse than it was before, in hope that people go, that's it, scrap VAR. So I'm sure that they're mad as hell the fact that this tournament has gone so well in terms of that. So it's just made English referees look even worse, I think.
Like, you know who's the best system is hockey. Hockey has like the best system of replay where they look at like, is that a goal? Okay, I mean, it's pretty easy in that instance in hockey where you're like, did it go across the line or did it not? It goes to Toronto, which is league headquarters. Somebody in Toronto's like, yep, it's a fucking goal, or nope, it's not. And that's what goes back to the ref, and that's what the ref does. There's no like, what does he think? It goes up to one guy that's in charge of yes or no. He says yes or no. It's done.
Well, the whole point of VAR is that to overturn a decision is in case of a clear and obvious error. So when you have these mugs going to the monitor and watching 28 replays for 5 minutes, if you have to watch it for that long, it's obviously not a clear and obvious error. You're just bored.
Thomas Suchek. Oh, sorry.
Fucking elbow gate. Motherfucker. Remember that. The tournament was...
Where it was like, hey, not only was it not intentional, it was really like just kind of coincidental that this happened. They're like, nope, it was intent, red card, go.
It wasn't clear the first 34 times, but the 35th time you could tell he had intent with his eyes. Tournament post Thomas Suchek and Vladimir. It does sound Vladimir, like trying to make Vladimir a nice guy.
Vladdy.
Oh, good old Vladimir. Always sounds like an evil person from a movie, but unfortunately
vampire.
They ducked out against Denmark. I thought they played well. I thought they deserved to win that game. I don't think maybe or at least take it to extra time. They weren't in it in the first half, but I think they came back strong. But just wasn't to be for our little boys. What do you think?
It was not. Their offense just kind of went missing at times, and a lot of it felt like they had to do a lot more than a bunch of other teams offensively throughout the tournament sometimes. Whether it just be like, I don't know, it was like, despite having goal scorers, they didn't seem like a team full of goal scorers, and I felt like that there were some droughts in their goal scoring after the very beginning of the tournament that kind of like you kind of saw it, and then it came back against the Netherlands. They were able to put some points away, but when that offense went cold, it went ice cold, and that was the issue.
I mean, especially the second Denmark goal, I thought was very well played, and they deserved that goal. But even as good of a goal as it was, I thought that was kind of like a defensive falling asleep of Czech Republic that could have been avoided. Because that was like pretty much passed straight through. Denver.
Not Denver. Denmark. Does Denmark give you like
Broncos?
The Denmark Broncos, do they give you like Team of Destiny? Like, are we going to say Team of Destiny maybe? Doing it for Christian? It seems like, look at him.
It would be a night, like, obviously I want England to win the tournament, but if Denmark go and win it all, that would be a pretty incredible story.
Because, like, going into it, you got to know England's going to win.
Worthy.
Like, you're like, fuck, if Denmark has that going, I don't like. It's just like you can't beat it, Like, I think are you gonna feel really nervous? It's like 0-0, 60th minute. You're like, oh god, it's gonna be a 1-0 Denmark win, isn't it?
Well, I mean, let's move slightly into the England-Ukraine game. Talking about being nervous. This is how bad England have been historically, or at least I don't know. Even when we was 4-0 up, there was still a little part of me of like, there's still 25 minutes to go. Let's wait to see how this pans out. Because if anyone's going to lose a 4-0 lead in
it's us.
It is to be England. But I was, because I don't know what's more shocking, the fact that we beat Germany 2-0 or the fact that we destroyed the Ukraine 4-0. Because obviously going in, yes, I am biased being an English person, but I thought we were going to win that game.
Right.
But I did not think we were going to win like we won that game. That was pretty...
I mean, they had been struggling to score most of the tournament, and then finally, what was it, 6 goals the last 2 games? Like, they figured it out. And after having, was it 0-0 to Scotland? And then they won another game. Was it 1-0, 1-0,
Czech Republic.
0-0. So, yeah, it was like, that didn't give you a lot of promise going in there. So seeing an outburst like that is pretty awesome.
Well, before we scored those 4 goals, we'd only scored 4 goals in the tournament. Like, we doubled our tournament tally with that. It's ridiculous.
That's pretty crazy, yeah.
And also, still the only team not to concede a goal. Let's go.
It's pretty. If you don't give up any goals, we always say on this podcast, it's hard to lose games when you don't give up any goals.
It's like 95% impossible to lose if you don't concede.
Pretty much. Yep.
I have to run the numbers again, but I'm pretty sure
It's pretty good. Pretty good odds.
But obviously, Decker's the only West Ham player in the final. How did you see his game? Because I know he got brought off relatively early. Because I think that was because he's on a yellow card, they didn't want to.
Yeah.
So he got saved.
Resets now?
Ooh, I don't think.
Was that what it was? I couldn't understand what they were saying about it, but like maybe it was just because he had the yellow. But yeah.
No, if it resets,
I don't know. I thought
would take him off.
He came 55 minutes in, I believe he came out. I thought he played pretty well. Again, like I've complained about, like, I think Southgate plays him like a little far back sometimes for my liking, but like Declan's gonna be Declan. Declan, he played pretty awesome. I was a little pissed at him though. I know this is getting off of Euros and kind of going to like West Ham news, but declining our offer, like what the fuck, dude?
Well, yes, I'm like annoyed
later
at that,
or like.
but just knowing
Took
our
some shine
owners,
off it for me.
Knowing our owners, I'm almost leaning towards the I believe they offered him a shit contract. Like, I wouldn't be shocked.
Hopefully that is the case, but that would be bad. But like he did do the hammers coming off, and like let's just say Aaron Rodgers, if they have a hammers symbol in Green Bay, he's not doing that after the games this year.
Right.
Like if you're not happy with the club, you're not going to be doing that.
From what I have read or heard, I think the offer they gave Declan Rice was still less money than Yarmolenko's earning. Which, if true, then that's bullshit.
Right,
Like,
okay. You're
going
going to be the captain of the team.
Yeah. So, I think if you... Don't get me wrong. I guess they're thinking...
I didn't look at what it was. This was like,
Hey.
don't decline our offers, bro.
Like, we're never going to sell him, blah, 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 and he has years left in his contract. But still, like, you don't want to upset and disrespect our main guy. Just wrap it up. If he wants to stay, give him what he wants. Give the man the money he wants. I don't... Oh, shit. If you're watching this...
It's getting a little windy out there in Jersey.
It's going to be crazy. The fuck?
It's going to be a wild one, boys.
Well, you've had some fun. Did you get the storms coming in by you?
Oh, yeah, dude. It was raining all weekend. I think we got the hurricane in the Gulf now, so that should be fun. Hurricane season, man.
That'd be the new one. Please preserve your electricity use because we're nuts.
Dude, it's ridiculous. We're not prepared for the cold, actually, so save up. Also, we're not prepared for the heat, so...
And also
basically,
that
with
middle ground...
80 degrees, we're fucked.
That middle ground, not so much. God bless Texas. God bless Texas. So yeah, England, and then obviously Italy beat Belgium. In what I thought, other than Belgium having that penalty before half-time, I don't think really they offered anything. I thought that was a pretty standard Italy win. You thoughts?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. So
No, I 100% agree.
So I thought going into today's semi-final, I thought, don't get me wrong, Spain can be good, but I thought the progression through the tournament, I thought Italy was going to destroy Spain today. And it did not happen.
It didn't. It was like they found that one goal and then kind of backed off. Spain came back, and then I just assumed Italy was going to turn it right back on, and they never really did.
It was like watching West Ham's like 2 years ago. It was like, hey, we're winning. That's it, right? We can rest now. We can give up.
It's
now.
over, huh? No.
First goal wins. No, shit. Fuck. But,
Second goal wins. That's it. Yeah, no, it's it was interesting to see how they went about that, and then Spain just kind of collapsed a little bit on the penalties on that. I mean, Dramamandand or whatever his name is, the keeper for Italy.
Donnarumma.
That same name.
Yeah.
That's what I said. He looked pretty good on a couple of those, but I just really thought Spain kind of shit the bed when it came to the penalties today.
Well, I was thinking because I think extra time. I don't think they really offered anything.
No, they were trying to play
kinda-
with penalties.
Because I just think they hit the wall. Because other than obviously the group stage, their last 16 match against Croatia, that went to extra time. So they played 120 minutes that game, and they won 5-3. And then they played Switzerland. That went to extra time and penalties. And then this game went to extra time. But I think they were just
It's
fucked.
luck. At a certain point, it's like I understand that there's skill that goes into the penalties, but the penalties are a crapshoot a lot of times when it comes down to it. And that's being like, my odds on one coin flip are a lot better than my odds on winning 3 straight coin flips. And to an extent, like they were bound to have an off penalty kick, like they were bound to have a stretch where they were off, and today was that day.
But when you think about it, they had 3 back-to-back extra times. So in theory, they played like an extra game that they didn't need to play.
Pretty much, yeah.
So they fucked it up. But they did way better than I thought they would. So hats off again
To the Spanish.
to the Spanish. And then, so the only thing we have to look forward to is Denmark versus England tomorrow. If this is a great thing about doing this type of podcast, because if you listen to this after the England game, this is all irrelevant shit and no one cares. But
It'll be accurate, though.
Yeah. So Denmark England, how do you see that one going?
England's going to win.
Do you think it's... See, here's my worry. On paper, yes, we should beat
Right,
Great
on
Danes.
paper.
But I'm almost more concerned after we beat Ukraine 4-0 and just like destroyed them, wiped the floor with them, made a mockery of them, that there's going to be a little bit of, we're already in the final, whatever. And we're going to get embarrassed by Denmark tomorrow. Do you think there's a chance of that? Or am I being crazy?
Oh, there's definitely a chance. And again, I feel like if it's a 0-0 game, kind of, 60-ish minutes, I'd be a little bit nervous because that's like Team of Destiny, do it for Christian Eriksen. Is Denmark about to fuck shit up? That would be scary. I think that I feel like it's going to be a 2-0 England win. And there's maybe 2-1. Denmark gets one at the very end. But I definitely think that England pulls this one out of there. Although I feel like Italy's got this tournament, man. I just think Italy's a better team. I think that maybe offensively today they didn't play as well as they could have. But England hasn't given up any goals. I get it. I don't know, dude. Italy hasn't lost a game in like the last 30 matches that they've played. I think they were like, 20, 28, 0-5 or some shit like that is what they showed them now.
Yeah, they're on a streak. They're on a hot run.
An immovable object against an unstoppable force. That's what we're going to have on Sunday, I think.
Or an immobile object.
Immobile.
Kind of works.
Sort of works. I'll play with that. Yeah, that works.
Yeah, I'd love to see us win tomorrow with a clean sheet just to keep that, because I think it would be awesome if we win the tournament and don't concede a single goal for the whole tournament. That'd be an awesome stat.
That'd be pretty sick.
I could see us dropping one tomorrow, and maybe I think maybe 2-1 England, and then who God knows against Italy. That's gonna be a close game, an exciting game, and it's gonna be a great day on Sunday because I've just found out recently that I'm going to a 5-year-old's birthday party on Sunday, which is awesome.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. You got a gift yet?
No. The gift is
wow.
that I'm going to leave early because I
There you
want to
go.
watch the game. unless
It's a good
England
out.
lose, unless England lose tomorrow, then I don't care about it, and then I'm going to be that.
Then you have to
drunk
watch for
uncle-
Christian.
And I'm going to be the drunk uncle in the corner. England should have won. They should be.
You guys don't understand.
Hey, football's coming home next year. They didn't want it this year.
We'll bring it home. Don't you worry.
Crazy Uncle Mine. My like England shirt's got stains on it. I haven't taken off since the game. Oh, it'd be a mess. Well, there you go. That's what you get for inviting an English person to your
Exactly.
party. Never do it.
It's your own fault.
Copa America. Have you been watching any of that? I haven't.
A little bit, but not really. No, it's gonna be. Believe it or not, I feel like it's Argentina, Colombia tonight. Spoiler alert: it's probably gonna be Argentina, Brazil in the final.
You think?
Crazy, dude. Who would have thought?
I don't know. I feel Colombia's gonna do it because Argentina aren't very good.
Well, I saw Lanzini's not over there, so duh.
That's what they're missing. But because I was looking back, I think because they do the Copa America every 2 years, and Argentina haven't won the Copa America since like the 90s. So
It's just Brazil, 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 Brazil.
and I think there might have been 1 year that due to politics they couldn't compete, so someone else won it, like Chile won it or something. But yeah, it's pretty embarrassing. It's a poor man's tournament. That's what you get when you have 10 countries.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Like, just make your continent bigger, idiots.
Yeah, a couple other countries, dude.
Or just like split up the countries, like so just make it more interesting. So have like North
South
Brazil,
Chile
South
and
Brazil.
North Chile.
You know,
Yeah.
take this on
Not
board.
that difficult. We just did it right there.
So that's an extra team, 2 teams, makes it more competitive.
Right?
Not thinking. I mean, that's pretty much. I think we've covered everything. Unless there's anything else you want to bring up. I mean, we're going to do the plugs after this, but I think we've pretty much summed up the Euros pretty solidly, and there's nothing really happening. West Ham Giants other than Declan Rice.
Deckless Rice.
Now in stores. So next week we have our season finale because, as you can see, we're pretty much stretching this content out as thinly as we can right now. So we're going to take a couple of weeks off until, the Giants and West Ham come back.
And then football will be back.
We figured, since we're the only podcast on the internet dedicated to West Ham and the New York Giants, we probably should, wait till there's things to talk about them. It's a bit wild.
It's a great idea.
It's all about that. So next week, obviously, we're going to wrap up the tournament, talk about the tournament as a whole, and we're going to have some guests on. I'm not going to, until the guest who said he's going to come on, he's going to be on vacation, so he's actually going to be in Spain, which would have been awesome if Spain were in the final. So when he comes on, it's going to be like 2 a.m. So I'm going to wait until it's closer to the date until I get it confirmed. But yeah, we're going to have probably 1 or 2 guests on to wrap up the Euros. And then we're going to take a little break and come back rejuvenated and ready to talk about Big Blue because they're going to dominate this year.
Yeah, they are.
Joe Judge. Other podcasts. So we've got more podcasts. Though you got so many podcasts. Don't worry, baby birds, that we're leaving you for 3 weeks.
Yeah, you'll have stuff.
You have so much shit. For example, I have a new episode of Waffle Box coming out tomorrow, where I talk about the super fun topic of the Boy Scouts of America. That's gonna be a fun time.
Never done anything bad.
That'll be a fun topic of conversation. Also talking about the Forever Purge and Alexa. Kids getting bullied because they're called Alexa and their bitch parents, whatever, whining. So that's coming out tomorrow. And also you've got not 1, but 2 podcasts coming out. So you've got Pasta Gravy and a new spin-off of Pasta Gravy is returning triumphantly. Tell them about it, Alex. Tell them.
It's Pass the Gravy. Yeah, Pass the Gravy tomorrow. We had regular Wednesday episode like we have every week. We have we do the new NIL rules in college football allowed college athletes to profit off of their likeness. So Pass the Gravy has now sponsored 2 college athletes. We'll have both of them on tomorrow to talk about. We're basically going to find out like who our enemies are now because we're the dogs. Like they stick our gang on any of their enemies. Like that's how we're gonna take it out. We're gonna meet our athletes, talk about the McGregor fight, and answer some questions and tell you guys what's not cool. But big thing happening this week is the return of the television show Big Brother. It is the 23rd season of that, which in turn means the return of my other podcast, Pass the Gravy Bro, with my girlfriend Emma, my friend Chris, and occasionally Pat from Pass the Gravy. We're going to be recapping every episode after it happens. You can watch it on our Facebook page, and then you can also listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. We're going to do a preseason preview and like a fantasy Big Brother draft tonight. So later on tonight, that'll be available as well.
So just to make sure people are fully with that, is that going to be on the Pass the Gravy feed?
It will not. You'll have to search Pass the Gravy Bro. It's its own thing. Pass the Gravy Bro.
But if you're worried, oh my god, that's so much work, easy, just make sure you're following at Pass the Gravy Bro, or just follow Alex J. Middleton on Twitter.
And I'll post about it.
And if you want to follow me, Mr. Mike Fish, Mr. Mike Fish, and Wafflebox Pod, Pod. New episode coming out tomorrow. But until then, we have to say farewell because again, we're not going to stretch this out anymore. But next week it's going to be a huge episode. Guess we're going to celebrate the end of Euros. We're going to celebrate England being crowned champions of Europe.
It's coming home.
It's coming home.
It's coming home.
Special guests, super fun time. Join us live Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 o'clock Central. If you can't watch us live, why? That's
figure it out, dude.
But obviously, you can listen to us on demand on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. We're now on fucking Audible.
That's cool.
That's a thing.
We're a book on it. We're a book now.
Yeah, we're an audio book. That's how educational we are.
Take that.
So check us out. All the links, cbbpod.com. cbbpod.com. But thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for following. All that good stuff. Make sure you go to YouTube, subscribe, all that bollocks. Hit the like button. I want what people say. Any final words of inspiration?
That's it, man. Let's go England.
It's coming home.
It's coming home.
But also,
flex the shirt. Seahorses forever.
See you next Tuesday.